For anyone who grew up in the 80s and 90s, Skeletor and Mumm-Ra represent the same thing: pure, unstoppable evil. Two of the greatest villains ever created, from two completely separate universes. And for decades, nobody asked what would happen if they stopped fighting heroes and started working together. DC Comics answered that question in 2016, and the answer was catastrophic. Because when those two joined forces, the first casualty wasn't a city, wasn't a kingdom. It was He-Man himself, destroyed by his own sword. The story begins on Third Earth, the world of the ThunderCats. Mumm-Ra, the ever-living, has a problem. His ancient masters, the spirits of evil, reveal something that changes everything. Somewhere, in another dimension, there's a weapon more powerful than the Sword of Omens, more powerful than anything on Third Earth. They're talking about the Sword of Power, He-Man's sword. And Mumm-Ra doesn't send a messenger. He doesn't wait. He tears open a rift between dimensions and pulls Third Earth directly into Eternia's sky. Two worlds, hanging over each other. People on Eternia look up and see an alien planet where the sun used to be. Castle Grayskull goes into full alert, and right in the middle of this chaos, for the very first time ever, He-Man and Lion-O come face to face. But while the heroes are still trying to understand what's happening, the real plan is already in motion. And honestly, what comes next is the reason this comic stuck with me. Mumm-Ra doesn't challenge He-Man to a fight. That's not how he operates. Instead, he shapeshifts, taking the exact form of the sorceress, He-Man's most trusted ally, the one person Prince Adam would never question. And while Adam is still in his civilian form, unguarded, unsuspecting, Mumm-Ra strikes. He drives the Sword of Power into Adam's body. Adam drops. But here's where DC does something brilliant. With everything fading, with his last breath of willpower, Adam raises the sword and says the words, "By the power of Grayskull." He transforms. He-Man emerges. And the transformation holds the wound together through sheer magical force. This isn't a triumphant moment. This is survival. The power of Grayskull is the only thing keeping him standing. And Skeletor, who's been 3 steps ahead of everyone this entire time, was counting on exactly this. See, Mumm-Ra thought he had a partner. He thought Skeletor was working with him to claim the Sword of Power. He was wrong. Skeletor was using Mumm-Ra as a distraction the entire time. And the moment He-Man's power is at its most unstable, Skeletor drains the magical energy directly from Castle Grayskull itself. The transformation breaks. Prince Adam reappears. No armor, no power, just a man with a wound that was never healed. And Adam falls, in the arms of his father, King Randor. 2 entire universes go quiet. But Skeletor isn't done. After discarding Mumm-Ra like a broken tool, he takes what's left of the ever-living's essence and absorbs it directly into himself. What comes out the other side is something neither universe has ever seen. A fusion of Skeletor's cunning and Mumm-Ra's ancient sorcery, powerful enough to unmake both Eternia and Third Earth. Now, if the story ended here, it would already be one of the darkest things DC has ever published. But there's one more act, and it changes everything. Lion-O is carrying the body of a man he barely knew, but had already come to respect. In a desperate move, he takes Adam to the one place that might have the power to bring him back: Mumm-Ra's Black Pyramid, the most ancient and dangerous structure on Third Earth. He places Adam inside the sarcophagus. The dark energy floods in, and it works. Adam's eyes open, but something is wrong. Whatever came back isn't fully Adam. The resurrection is corrupted. He's feral, aggressive, out of control, and the first person he turns on is Lion-O, the man who just risked everything to save him. This is the moment that separates this crossover from every other nostalgia project out there. DC isn't giving you a clean hero moment. They're showing you what happens when the power that makes a hero comes with a cost nobody can predict. And now, with a corrupted He-Man loose and a fused Skeletor Mumm-Ra hybrid threatening both worlds, Lion-O has to make a choice. Does he put Adam down? Or does he bet everything that the real He-Man is still in there somewhere? Lion-O chooses trust. And somehow, through everything, through the corruption, through the darkness that brought him back, Adam fights his way to the surface, back to who he was. But here's what makes this moment land. Lion-O had every reason to give up on him. When Adam came back from that sarcophagus, he wasn't a hero. He was feral, uncontrolled. He attacked Lion-O, the same person who carried his body across Third Earth, and placed him inside Mumm-Ra's Black Pyramid, hoping that dark magic could undo what never should have happened. Lion-O didn't fight back to win. He fought back to survive, while choosing to believe that somewhere inside that corrupted shell, the real Adam was still there. And he was right. Two heroes, two swords, one last stand. They do something that has never been done in either franchise. They combine the Sword of Power and the Sword of Omens into a single strike. The same sword that was used to destroy He-Man became the only thing capable of saving both worlds. But the real betrayal didn't come from Skeletor. It came from the ancient spirits of evil themselves. Mumm-Ra's own masters, the ones he served for centuries, sold him to Skeletor as a bargaining chip. They were tired of his failures. They wanted their freedom from the Black Pyramid. And Mumm-Ra was the price. That fusion, the combined force of Grayskull and Third Earth, is the only thing in either universe capable of taking down what Skeletor has become. Not a man anymore. A fusion of Skeletor's cunning and Mumm-Ra's immortal sorcery. Something powerful enough to not just conquer both worlds, but destroy them entirely. The battle nearly ends them both. And when it's over, there's no victory parade, no celebration. Just two men standing in the wreckage of two worlds, alive, but changed. Two worlds were cracked open. A hero was destroyed. A resurrection went wrong. And the only reason any of it was stopped is because these two men chose to trust each other, even when every reason not to was staring them in the face. DC gave fans the crossover they asked for, and then made sure nobody walked away from it the same way they came in. If this hit different than you expected, drop a like. It tells me to keep going deeper. And subscribe if you want more stories like this.